Eastern Conference. Very intriguing matchups, to say the least. The Bulls and the 76ers, my Chicago Bulls. Very quickly, unfortunately, anything you say now, the media will spin and turn into bulletin board material, a la Evan Turner, when he decides to say, yeah, we match up better with the Bulls than the Heat. So now everyone is taking that out of context. And unfortunately, it has become bulletin board material. However, it's the truth. Everyone matches up better in the NBA with the Bulls when you compare them to the Miami Heat. I think we can at least agree on that. So anyways, the 76ers, how many games do you give them in this series?
Five. 5 games and they're gone. I just don't see any way, that they can deal with the Bulls and that suffocating defense. The way Luol Deng has been playing especially, I just can't see Philadelphia being able to generate enough offense against this defense to get beyond 5 games.
Derrick Rose, what percentage would you say he's at now?
I mean, I would say he's probably at about 90%. But, the problem with that is, you're just one tweak away from being at 50%. When you've been out that long, nursing injuries that long, getting those little tweaks that give you those setbacks happens a lot easier, and you can get knocked back quite a few pegs. So I think as much as if I can win a game in this series, if I can win this series, even if I have it go 6 games by basically playing Derrick Rose less than 30 minutes a game, I'd do it. I'd risk losing a game if that meant sitting Derrick Rose a little bit more than I'd like to in order to make sure he's 100% for the next round, which I think is going to be an incredibly tough round for the Bulls.
Absolutely. Lose the battle, but win the war in the end.
Exactly.
Okay, so you got the Bulls in 5. I got the Bulls in 6. Very quickly as we wrap up here, Boston Celtics, Atlanta Hawks. Firstly, let's talk about the big 3. You could even say big 4 of the Boston Celtics with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo. Are they all good to go? Are they all healthy? And how many minutes do you think the 3 veterans will play per game?
They're not totally healthy. I mean, Paul Pierce has a little bit of a tweak. He injured his toe the other night, but it doesn't seem to be anything serious. I think the biggest issue with the Celtics is going to be Ray Allen with the bone spurs in his ankle. I think he'll be coming off the bench in the series. And, his ability, obviously, to run off the screens and hit those 3-point shots or hit those mid-range shots to kind of stretch defenses, they need him for that. But I would imagine Ray Allen probably, if he plays in the series, I wouldn't imagine him playing more than 25 minutes a game, maybe, given his ankles. His right, I think it's his right ankle situation. So I think he's the guy most likely to get a huge reduction in time if and when he plays.
So who must step up? Does it have to be Rajon Rondo? Does he have to score the ball, or is it Miguel Pietrus? I mean, who needs to step up in his place if he plays, let's say, 20 to 25 minutes per game?
Well, I think with Celtics, it's guys like Avery Bradley. They need these role players, guys like Brandon Bass, Steamsma, who's not going to score a lot but can provide quality minutes behind Garnett. They need those guys so they can spell. If those guys can give them good minutes, it can spell the veteran guys from having to play 40 minutes a game, 46 minutes a game. And otherwise, if they can't get bench play, the Celtics long-term is going to be in trouble in the playoffs. It
sounds like, at least to me, that you're going to take the Celtics in this one. Do you give the Atlanta Hawks I mean, I didn't even ask for your pick. Do you give them any love? I mean, do you think that they could, with their $100 million man and what seems like solid supporting cast, that they could beat the Boston Celtics?
I think they can. I think they can force the series deep. I mean, I'm picking the Celtics in 6. I could see it going 7, and I'm still taking the Celtics in 7. But look, the Hawks have, considering they're doing this without Al Horford, is pretty impressive. Jeff Teague is one of the most improved players in the league that no one's talking about at point guard. Joe Johnson and Josh Smith, who should have been an All-Star this year but wasn't. is playing exceptionally well. So they have some good pieces. I mean, the area where the Hawks are weakest is, at the center position. They won't have things. Zaza Pachulia, he definitely won't start the series. He's still injured. They don't really have scoring in the center position. But really outside of Garnett for the Celtics, they don't have much scoring at the center position either. So one of the Celtics' biggest weaknesses is kind of negated because Atlanta kind of has similar troubles. I take Boston in 6 just because of the defense, though.
I will have to agree with you and also say Boston in 6. So now, what seems like possibly one of the easier, if not the easiest pick in the Eastern Conference, the number 3 Indiana Pacers against the number 6 Orlando Magic, who do not have Dwight Howard, who are still, the team is in shambles. I mean, at least it still seems like. If you had to make a case for Orlando, what would it be?
A case?
Yeah.
I'd give them a case of beer and tell them to take the rest of the season off. They don't have a chance in the world of winning this series. There is no case to be made for the Magic. Look, you got Big Baby, who's going to have to try and guard Roy Hibbert. And behind Big Baby, who's injured himself, he may not even start game 1, it seems, because he's got some injury issues. So you're looking at Daniel Orton against Roy Hibbert. That alone tells the story of who's going to win the series, aside from all the other issues they have. Look, this is a sweep. I think out of all the series, there's no doubt in my mind this one is a sweep. I initially picked the Pacers in 5 games when I saw that Glenn Davis was hurt, and they may have to rely a little bit more on Orton. I revised my pick to 4-game sweep. I can't see it any other way.
You can't see Daniel Orton having that sort of series where it's a guy that comes in and he's not that big of a name, and he comes in and he just plays so well and so hard and earns a bigger contract. You don't see him having that sort of series?
No. It doesn't matter. There's no amount of coaching to me that's going to save the series from the Magic, and it's not going to have anything to do with Stan Van Gundy, Kenny or Kenny not coach. He just doesn't have the horses to do the job. And as you see with the Magic, when they start going downhill, if they get blown out in this game 1, they're done, because they're not the kind of team like, say, the Dallas Mavericks have been. You lose a tough game or you get blown out, you come back and you put it on the other team in the next game. They're not the kind of team that can do that, resilient like that. When you punch the Magic in the mouth, especially in the state that they're in, they lay down, I think. Not because they won't try, but because I just don't think at this point, with all they've been through, I just don't know if they have the will to get through it. And honestly, I can't blame them. I don't want the season to end too.
How improved of a player has Roy Hibbert developed into this season?
Oh, Roy Hibbert's, he's been excellent. I mean, his offensive repertoire, which, I thought before was a little bit, when he came into the league, was a little bit underdeveloped. He didn't have too many go-to moves. He had a little jump hook shot, and that's about it. But he's developed into a good mid-range shooter. He passes the ball well, which, obviously when he played at Georgetown and at Princeton offense, you have to be able to pass the ball well to succeed in that offense. So I think he's an example of a guy who came out of college kind of understated. There weren't that many great expectations, but he's fundamentally sound, and he does a lot of things very well. And he's a good shot blocker. Not the fastest guy in the world, but he's skilled in all the little areas that you need to be. And you don't see a lot of big men. You don't see a lot of centers who can play with their back to the basket and play traditionally like a center in today's game. And so he's kind of unique when you really think about it.
It seems like he is starting to become that player that a lot of fans thought that he would become when his draft was that high at Georgetown and when he was going to come into the league and he was a top 3 pick, top 5 pick. I mean, it seems like he's developing into that sort of player. So you have the Pacers in a sweep. I also have the Pacers in a sweep. I think if the Magic do get blown out in just one game, and I have a feeling it will come, that they'll lay down is pretty much the best way that I'll put it. Last game in the Eastern Conference, opening round, The Knicks and the Miami Heat, always an intriguing matchup when the Knicks are involved. Jeremy Lin, give me the update on him firstly.
Jeremy Lin, with his surgery, he's not going to play in the first round after he had the knee surgery, left knee. If he does play, it will be in the second round, so he's pretty much he won't be around for the series with the Miami Heat. And I think even if he plays in the second round, obviously coming back from such a long layoff, he would be in a supporting role. He wouldn't be in the starting lineup.
With the New York Knicks, I mean, how do they match up exactly with the Heat? I mean, you have Melo, who's obviously he's going to be Melo, but I mean, who do you put on? Well, it appears Tyson Chandler is going to miss Game 1 with the flu, so scratch him off. Who's going to match up with Bosh, and who's going to match up with Wade? And I mean, you could say Iman Shumpert might rotate over if he does well on Mario Chalmers and doesn't give up Chalmers' 2 3-pointers a game or 3 3-pointers a game. How exactly do they match up, Jay? I mean, who do you put with who?
Man, it is tough. You know, the Heat presents a lot of tough matchups for him. I think you'll see Iman Shumpert being on a little bit of everybody on the perimeter at some point. I mean, he can guard, in my opinion, LeBron James. He's a couple inches shorter, but he's physically strong, and he plays great defense, great off the dribble. He can guard guys off the dribble. I think he's a really good cover for LeBron James. So I think you can see some spots where they might switch and put him there and see how he does. Amar'e will probably guard Bosh, who says his hamstring is okay. He's been out for a little bit nursing a right hamstring strain. So it remains to be seen exactly how effective Bosh is going to be. Bosh has said, I saw Bosh yesterday at shoot-around, and he basically said that as long as he rebounds the ball, when his rebound numbers are up, things go well for them. And I have to check the stats on that to see exactly what the record is when they do that. But he says he's going to primarily focus on rebounding in the series because, let's face it, with Carmelo, LeBron, D. Wade on the floor, then you bring in J.R. Smith for the Knicks, then you can bring in Steve Novak, and then Mario Chalmers gets hot for the Heat. There's more than enough scoring to go around in both of these teams.
Any chance when they let me jump in? Any chance when they bring in Novak that they might go zone?
I would. I mean, look, there's a lot of teams in this league that are realizing that there's no shame in playing zone defense. You know, Phil Jackson used to joke that it was a cop-out that weak teams play zone defense. But the way Steve Novak is shooting, you have to devise some sort of system, be it a zone or you basically attach someone to him and like you do almost like a box and one, like this guy, you stay with him no matter where he goes. Because once he gets hot, it seems to get contagious with him, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And J.R. Smith starts hitting. And then next thing you know, even Iman Shumpert's hitting threes, and then you're in trouble.
Let me ask you really quickly. You made a point about Iman Shumpert guarding LeBron James. He is obviously a physical guy, and I like him not only because he's from Illinois, but because he plays with a lot of grit, and he's a tough player. And I like seeing those kind of players. However, you would put Iman Shumpert, who is certainly wide, but he gives up about 3 to 4 inches to LeBron James. And this is a guy who, in the offseason, in LeBron James, who practiced post moves with Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. He's developing his low post game. So would you really put Shumpert on him after he gives up 3 inches?
You know why I would put Shumpert on him? Because LeBron James and Dwayne Wade are at their best when they do what? When they get in the paint and attack the lane. And you got to keep them out of the lane. And if you don't have Tyson Chandler, especially for Game 1, you got to do everything you can to keep them from getting into the paint. So, yeah, I mean, LeBron James might be able to post him up. Shumpert's a very strong guy, though. I mean, LeBron can post up a lot of guys his own size. So I think it's more imperative to keep them from slashing. Even if LeBron posts him up and scores, you still kind of slow down the pace a little bit of the game, and you make Miami play more of a half court. Miami's not as good of a team. They're kind of similar to Oklahoma City in that way. When the court's wide open and they're slashing and going down the lane and lobbing each other and high-fiving as they're slam dunking, that's when you're really in trouble and you have no chance. So I think you have to do everything you can to slow down LeBron James from getting in the lane. Hey, I would try it out with Shumpert in spots. Maybe it works. If it doesn't, the Dallas Mavericks had a lot of success playing his own defense against the Miami Heat last year. I would have that in my arsenal too. Try to make them a jump shooting team. And if you can do that and make them settle, maybe you can steal a game or two.
So who do you got? I mean, I think you have the Heat, but how many games?
Miami Heat in 6.
Oh man. All right, I'm agreeing with you on that one as well. Miami Heat in 6. That would wrap up our first round. Jay, will you join us for the second round to recap this and move forward?
I will. I'll revisit the past and go to this dark place and look at all my picks that maybe didn't pan out. But yeah, I'll do it again.
All right, Jay. Thanks so much for the time, and we'll talk to you soon.
No problem, Rick. Thanks.